What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. There were a couple surprise changes to the close range meta today on Tuesday, March 19th, so we're going to very quickly go through that. Before I do that, though, I want to remind you guys that about 50% of you aren't subscribed, which is pretty crazy, actually. You guys could get me to like 300,000 subscribers in a day or two if you all just hit the little subscribe button, so I would appreciate that. But let's jump into it, and we will talk about the RAM 9 and HRM 9 changes. Alright, so as you guys can see on the screen here, the RAM 9, the near-mid damage was decreased down to 24 from 27, so a 3 damage change, that's pretty significant. And then the mid damage was decreased to 22, down from 24. So we'll go look at that on TGD in a second and see how that actually changed it. I have already gotten into a plunder match and tested this myself and gotten it up on TGD. And then the HRM 9 also got a slight nerf, but this was just to the damage range. So it was about 10 to 15% reduction in that first damage range, which is pretty significant actually, because this brings it much closer to in line with the RAM 9's first damage drop off. Alright, I've got the TTK chart over here on TGD, so I have the RAM 9 in red, which is the current RAM 9, and then the RAM 9 also in orange, that is the pre-nerf RAM 9, so that is from before today. And this is on 300 health chest shots. You can see that it increased the shots to kill by 1 in both that second range and third range, which is basically what I would have expected from the patch notes. So SMGs are mostly used in the first damage range, but in some cases you will have fights that are out there about, 15 to 20, 25 meters. So that does happen sometimes. So those are still important, and this is a pretty significant nerf to the RAM 9 in my opinion. Now if I turn on the HRM 9, I didn't include a pre-nerf, post-nerf. I don't usually do that if it's just a damage range change. But you can see that the blue line there is at 11.3 meters now, where it used to be about 12.6. So, it used to be about 10-15% further out there, and that is probably a super common range for engagements between 11.3 and 12.6. I think probably a lot of engagements actually do happen in that range. So I think that was a not insignificant nerf to the HRM. I think some people probably think that 1.3 meters is not that much of a difference, but when all of your engagements are, focused around that point, it probably does actually make a decent difference. So a little bit of a nerf there for the HRM, but I still think it's going to be super meta. Same with the RAM 9, even after this change. I think they're both still super meta. But let me throw on the AMR here, which is what I think the third best option is. And you can see that it just has this crazy time to kill all the way out to 22.9 meters. So I think both of these changes to the RAM and HRM are going to make the AMR look quite a bit better. Now, of course, as I talked about in my close range meta video, if you go watch that from a couple days ago, if you include sprint to fire time in this, the chart all of a sudden looks very different. That's because the AMR and the RAM 9 both have very bad sprint to fire time, so you have to correct to that when you're building the weapons. But you can get the AMR pretty close to having a competitive sprint to fire time, so you can kind of still take advantage of that long damage range. But that's all for the video. A reminder again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and a comment, and I will see you guys all in the next one.